I just feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but this is a reminder to you Canelo fans. I know you guys are all up in your feelings and emotions, dude. This is too funny, man. You guys, you laughed when it came to fighters like Errol Spence and Gervonta Tank Davis and Deontay Wilder and whoever else was hyped up. People who got ahead by matchmaking and cherry picking and things like that. It always happens to the fighter. It don't matter the race. I'm just trying to let you guys know this. Your dude's fake too. He's gonna get smashed up on September 13th. Your dude is not that guy. He's just not. He's a fake fighter. And he knows it. His team knows it. You fans don't. You ain't even betting your money, guys. I think the odds actually dropped since last time I posted. I think they were like at 155, minus 155. Now they're like at minus 140. So people, they're kind of, as we get close to this fight, they're putting their money on Crawford, and that's with good reason. Some of you, you got a harsh reality coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, this should be an easy fight for Canelo, but you guys, you know what time it is, man. I don't even feel like really going hard on you dudes. I understand how you're trying to psych yourselves up, how you're trying to act like you have full utmost confidence in Canelo Alvarez. If Canelo was who you guys said he is, he should be at the very least a minus 1,300 favorite in this fight. Crawford like a +9, around that level, as far as the betting, but it's just not the case at all. It's essentially pretty much a 50-50 fight. It's not even a 55-45 type fight. You know what I'm saying? It's closer to 50-50 at this point. People know what time it is. Robert Garcia came out with the interview today. I watched it. He even called it out. He said Canelo's comes out here, he just throws one punch, and he's flat-footed. He says Crawford has a very good chance. Now, he said, I don't want to put my money on Crawford, but, he pretty much told you what this channel's been telling you. The guy that you guys try to psych yourself up with, first of all, he doesn't exist. He never existed. You understand? Canelo doesn't belong with the likes of a Floyd Mayweather. We saw this in real life. You understand? But he doesn't belong in the likes with like the Sugar Ray Leonards and those type of fighters. Those fighters, they were fighters of merit. Canelo's not a fighter of merit. Canelo's over here struggling with Laura's of the world and everything else. Goes and cherry picks James Kirkland after that fight, and he blamed running on that fight as well. I brought up earlier today, we showed you the punch stats with the skull fight, which I managed to watch yesterday night. And this dude is just cooked, man. What I've been telling you guys, it's right there. Skull even started to challenge Canelo when he tried to close the gap and throw his haymakers. And, Skull would let him land, but then he'd come back and hit Canelo with some shots. It got to the point where he made Canelo hesitant to even throw those haymakers. Canelo also got frustrated in that fight, tried to get dirty. He managed to spin Skull around like around the 11th or 10th round, and then he tried to hit him like on the back of his head and stuff. He was warned 3 times for low blows during that fight. Now, I understand that Skull was jumping and things like that, but there were some legitimate concerns, and even the ref had to warn Canelo about his low blow punching because, it goes back to what I've been telling you guys on this channel. Canelo is such a fake fighter, such a propped it up fighter. Even in the lower fight, we can even use that fight as an example. He knows all he has to do is just land. It doesn't matter if it's a scoring blow. You understand? Like Bivol as well. He can only throw the same sequence, couldn't adapt. He thought it was finally going to work at some point as he got tired and fatigued throughout the fight. You know what I'm saying? But he knows, you're here, you're paying these judges, and, I'm sure they get their instructions. Like if I land these hard shots on shoulders and hips, in the Skull fight, again, warned 3 times for low blows. You know what I'm saying? Pretty clear to see that some of those were low. Again, and it was during times when Skull didn't jump. If I just land, count that as me winning the fight. And at this point in time, since you got away with this stuff, you did this in the Laura fight as well. Laura was still landing more clean punches on you. punches were actually scoring blows. Canelo was getting credit for, again, that type of punching where, again, he just has to land. And you've been so assisted in your career. This is how you fight now. Now we have a fighter, Terrence Bud Crawford. You understand he did not get afforded those types of privileges. When he lands a punch, it actually has to be clean. Even at Errol Spence, it was the same deal. You know, Errol Spence would sit here, he would hit hips. You know, on this channel, I used to call it the prison shank, because a real calculated, cold-blooded killer knows what he's doing. He knows where to hit the vital arteries and things like that. Spence was just a prison dude when it came to those punches, you know, throwing 1,000 punches, but you don't know how to hit the vital areas, you know what I'm saying? Therefore, you're not that much of a effective puncher or effective finisher. You typically need the ref to come in and stop the fights, and this was early in your career as well. You don't see too many fights where Spence was just KOing people like we've seen Crawford do to people before. You know what I'm saying? But we sat here and you guys were telling me how this dude has one of the best jabs in boxing. And I'm here telling you and showing you film while I'm telling you this stuff, that this dude's jab isn't even designed to hit people in their head. It's a distraction. It's a smoke screen. You know, it's just like what Canelo does, square, 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 triangle. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a distraction than anything else. And again, you guys bum rushed me when I came out with that last video. I was wondering why these Canelo fans were coming at me all of a sudden in my comment section and everything else. And then I looked and then I saw these videos about Bomac. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even just the Mexican fans. The dude's like, what are you over here talking about? Skull said, you know, Turkey, you know, instructed him not to really try to beat him. I had to post the receipt on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this fantasy world like you guys. You know what I'm saying? I try to actually use reality to determine what's going to happen in reality, if that makes sense to any of you. But regardless of all that, just like a Canelo, Spence was kind of in the same funk. It's been forever since he got a KO. Yeah, he did get Ugas, but he was almost knocked out in that fight as well. Ugas only had like 12 KOs. You know, you're still coming at me with the same stuff. Crawford hasn't fought no one. Canelo, you know, fought GGG. What did GGG do? You understand? What did Caleb Plant? How was his resume, guys? How was Colin Smith's resume? You know what I'm saying? How was Berlanga's resume? How was Munguia's resume? Are you guys giving him credit for guys like Liam Smith, especially at the end of his career? You know? And again, I have to always tell you guys, it's not like these dudes absorb these people's essence and now, you know what I'm saying? It's like a Mortal Kombat game where they absorb the soul and now they know, or it's Highlander or some dumb thing like that, where they absorb like their attributes and their knowledge and whatever else. I don't know what world you guys live in. GGG, again, had a far more piss poor resume than Bud Crawford. GGG is nowhere near the skill set, the boxing IQ and those types of things as a Terrence Bud Crawford. Do you understand? You're not going to find gold medalists on GGG's career, silver medalists. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to find the type of opposition on GGG's resume that is on Terrence Crawford's resume. I'm sorry, you know. And Canelo, again, GGG wasn't even sitting down on his punches and things like that. That one video where I showed you the scenarios where you could get Canelo if there is going to be a KO in this fight, what's likely going to be the highest scenarios, because he always drops that left. That was an arm punch by GGG. And GGG did not have this killer power like you guys say. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is another guy. He would get a lot of stoppages as well. He wasn't flatlining guys necessarily. Now, is he a hard puncher? Yes, he is. But again, he's doing this against guys who have no chance. He's doing this against guys that are moving up from like 154 and things like that. He was a hype job too that they try to put on a pedestal. And this is what the Abel Sanchez's and everybody else, you're dealing with dialectics in this fight. The Canelo dialectic needs a GGG to validate itself. Terrence Bud Crawford doesn't need a GGG to validate himself. Crawford stands alone. He really doesn't need anyone. You see, he was a guy that everybody always ganged up on. So this is nothing new for Terrence Bud Crawford. If these fighters want to come together, like, you know, And these trainers like Joel Diaz, you know what I'm saying? Some bitter dudes who've never been able to beat Terrence Bud Crawford. At best, they have a moral victory like Joel Diaz. You know, this dude was retiring Joel Diaz's fighters with like Felix Diaz, who was another Olympian, by the way. You understand? But Abel Sanchez and these guys are all spitting the same lines, just like a lot of you fans. That if Bud Crawford wins, it's going to kill the sport. This is how crazy you guys have gone in terms of this fight. You really believe that this sport is going to die if your fake champ, who Eddie Hearn said, you don't get your value with. You understand? I'm going to sum Canelo up for you. It's just like these movies that come out with today, especially when they're pushing like the feminist agenda and things like that. You sit here, you have Canelo's now getting paid the same amount of money as they spend on production on these blockbuster movies. You understand? And these people, they waste a ton of money on this stuff. And this is what you do with Canelo Alvarez. I'm going to tell you why it's the exact opposite. It will actually be healthier for the sport. And the sport will be in a better place without a fighter like Canelo always getting everything funneled to him, especially for these lackluster fights like a Berlanga and whatever else. It's never a fight that we truly want to see. You always got to prop up these dudes with a belt, act like they're so great, like Caleb Plant. What has Caleb Plant done again? But he gets credit for Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? Billy Joe Saunders again. What are your best wins? Name three of them. None of you can name three of them. Do you understand? You don't know nothing about no Billy Joe Saunders. You just know he was a southpaw. He was somewhat slick. That's about all as you guys know. And again, Caleb Plant, again, what were the names on these guys' resume? Colin Smith, again. You guys didn't follow George Grooves or any of those types of fighters. You know what I'm saying? But you're here, it's a big deal when it comes to Crawford. Just like steroids is a big deal when it comes to Crawford. Jaime Munguia just got not guilty, which is a joke. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean nothing. We know the dude doped. He got busted, just like many others in Canelo camp. But the thing is this, you always try to act like these dudes are going to combine and help Canelo in spirit or some nonsense. And this is what I'm saying. Canelo has been this money laundering scheme for boxing. He's not really been this great thing for boxing. You had a guy like Ali, the whole world was following Ali. You know what I'm saying? He's over here freeing hostages and things from terrorists. What has Canelo Alvarez done? You know what I'm saying? What significance does Canelo really bring to the table? He does not grow the sport. The sport is not bigger than what it used to be. You don't get a positive with Canelo Alvarez. I don't even want to know to try to figure out how much money they're spending on this. You understand? On this fight. I would not be shocked if it's around 500 million. And I don't think you're going to get your money back on that, even with a Netflix. You know what I'm saying? But boxing is designed differently today. And it would actually be healthier. You would actually be in a situation where you got to figure out how you can still keep the sport relevant without a guy like Canelo, who really hasn't done nothing for the sport, guys. Not only is your dude, as far as skill echelon, nowhere near the level of guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, like we mentioned earlier, even a Floyd Mayweather, not even a Bivol, guys, okay? But star-wise, you're not on a Floyd Mayweather level. When Floyd left HBO and he went to Showtime, Showtime became big number one. You understand? Showtime was doing better than HBO. And HBO suffered so bad that they actually fell before Showtime did. Showtime still lasted a little bit far longer than HBO did. You understand? And Canelo was one of the reasons for that. You tried to put in generic Floyd to try to fill in the shoes of the real Floyd. And it just didn't work out. And it hasn't worked out for DAZN. You understand? And Turkey, he's going to find out as well that you're sitting here paying this man a small fortune again, what you would spend on a budget of a blockbuster movie. You're not going to get your value. You know what I'm saying? You're just not. I don't think Netflix is going to be too impressed. And at the same token, they're going to see this guy that you're trying to, use to dangle a carrot in front of other investors with. No, this will cause boxing to do what UFC has done. Instead of paying one guy 150 million bucks, I can use this 150 and I can invest it in the actual sport itself. And I can give all these other guys far more opportunities than a dude who's scared guy who can only cherry pick, a guy who truly does not believe in himself. And you can really start making some real moves with boxing. You understand you don't have to pay these guys $100 million to get them to fight. You know, these guys are going to have to earn it. You understand? It was always given to Canelo. He never really had to earn anything. I'm sorry, guys. Matthew Hatton at a catchweight is not earning anything, especially when you compare that to guys like even Devin Haney, who beat a Lomachenko when he was Canelo's age, who fought Floyd Mayweather, for example. Teofimo Lopez is over here doing what a Canelo can never do. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's not as spectacular as you guys make him out to be. He's not as skilled as you guys make him out to be. Now, I am going to say this. This is going to be a pretty good fight. To me, Madrimov was a perfect opponent. You're dealing with a guy who's a tricky puzzle to solve. He has creativity. He can still put his punches together, unlike a Canelo Alvarez. You understand he's way more athletic, has far better footwork, has more crazier angles, can switch stances as well. You understand? Now you compare that to the Skull fight again that you guys don't want to acknowledge. If Canelo was half of what you guys said, he would have landed more headshots on William Skull, but he couldn't do that. He had to turn to his fake fighting, rig fighting, where the judges have to help him, and the telecast has to tell you that, oh, it's William Skull's fault. He's just running. You're Canelo Alvarez. You're supposed to be the best fighter of this generation, according to you guys. You don't have enough skill to land around 10 punches on William Skull's head. You don't know how to set him up and affect him where he can't run anymore. You can't keep him trapped on the ropes long enough and then hit him with the shot he can't expect. You know what I'm saying? You guys are using excuses, and you're not in reality when we talk this boxing. And yes, Crawford is going to beat this dude. And it's to the point now, again, I'm looking at the confidence. I'm looking at the more photo shoots. Canelo's out here playing soccer. He finally came out with a training montage, guys. And again, he's not really sweating in any of these clips. You know what I'm saying? His hair's dry. His shirt has no sweat on it. It's photo op stuff, guys. A lot of material did come out today. And then I have you clowns in my comment section, again, making the same points as everybody else has made when it came to a Bud Crawford fight. Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, GGG, who fought Brooke, none of these guys prepared any of those people. Amir Khan even fought Canelo, guys. None of those people prepared those dudes for Terrence Bud Crawford. And GGG and whoever else that you guys put your faith and trust in are not going to help Canelo Alvarez in this fight as well, guys. Your dude is a fake blockbuster feminist hero like Hollywood is doubling down on today and failing and, destroying its own existence for the most part. No, it would be a lot healthier if Canelo loses and this sport can now do things instead of wasting money on this fake agenda with Canelo Alvarez. You can actually invest into the sport of boxing. You can get real people out there that want to fight and truly be great, because that's another thing too. Canelo doesn't truly want to be great. You understand? This guy's always cherry picked even from a young age. There's a lot of smoke screen, a lot of smoke and mirrors, like I've been telling you guys. You're one punch at a time fighter who's trying to land a haymaker like this is Undisputed, the video game. You guys even play like Canelo Alvarez on Undisputed, guys. That's how funny it is. That's how funny it is. You understand? If you don't knock Bud out within the first 6 rounds, you ain't going to win this fight. You're going to get boa constricted. Bud is only going to tighten further on you. Bud is still going to have his feet. He's still going to have his mental. You understand? He's far more competitive, wants it more than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's tired of the sport of boxing. You can see it on his face, guys. You truly can. You know what I'm saying? That William Skull fight told us a lot. And again, what are you doing only landing around 10 punches on William Skull's dome? It's only exposing the fact that you're limited. Plus, you made a historic record for low output. You understand? These are the type of records that your dude, the fake guy, Canelo Alvarez, is breaking. Terrence Crawford, again, the fact that you even got to fight a William Skull for your second Undisputed is a joke, in my opinion. Do you understand? You guys don't hold Canelo even to a Bud Crawford standard. I'm sorry, you don't. You hold Crawford to a higher standard. You fans are going to have I responsibility, but you're going to be accomplices in this demise of Canelo Alvarez. Just like the Spence fans who said Spence was just living his life, and we see Spence over here getting car wrecks, getting drunk and everything. The fans, they enabled that, and they co-signed that. And you guys co-signed this type of weak behavior from a guy who's I'm supposed to compare him and put him in the same company as guys like Julio Cesar Chavez, Sugar Ray Leonard, and all the true greats in this sport that didn't need half of the assistance that Canelo did. Could you imagine those guys if they got away with the stuff that Canelo got away with? We know Sugar Ray Leonard did coke, you know what I'm saying? But, he used to beat his wife too. But, you know what I'm saying? If he could just dope, and then the people who are overseeing doping in this sport, they now have to change the rules so that it's okay for Sugar Ray Leonard to continue to do PEDs while other guys, they just throw the book at. You understand? And now that Jaime Munguia is associated with Canelo, oh, well, we got to help him too, Guys, come on, man. This is what's killing the sport. A guy like Canelo is a leech, and he's a parasite on the sport. And again, just as Eddie Hearn says, you never heard this about guys like Mike Tyson or other big stars. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather's. Showtime didn't complain about what they got in return for a Floyd Mayweather, guys. And neither did HBO. HBO just went on this anti-American thing. We're going to start hyping up all these foreign fighters. I told you guys about the globalization process that boxing underwent, and you watched all these pillars of boxing start to fall. You understand? And now boxing has become this traveling act. UFC doesn't have that problem. It has a very healthy sport. It's very fan-friendly. You know what I'm saying? They have these massive undercards, and it's to the point now where they don't even need a star. They can take their C-list fighters and have them as a main event, you know what I'm saying? And they can still consistently perform far better on a consistent manner than boxing. And it's because boxing has turned to this, we got to create our own version of Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Canelo Alvarez is. It's a generic version that never, ever came close to filling its shoes. Floyd Mayweather, again, had to earn it the hard way. Canelo Alvarez had it given to him. Bud Crawford is a guy who had to earn it the hard way. You understand? He got to fight guys like Gamboa because bigger name fighters like Mickey Garcia were ducking Gamboa. This is how Crawford has always got his opportunity. And we're in the same opportunity today. You're ducking Benavidez, and again, you're in a position where this basically is a cherry pick on wrong, just like all your other losses. You understand? I've always stated this on this channel. Top 10 consists pound for pound. Canelo is the most effective fighter on an even playing field. If there's no judging, if there's no steroids, Canelo wouldn't even be on the top 10 pound for pound. He'd be a $2 whore, just like I tell you guys exactly who he is. He'd be a Danny Garcia. Do you understand? Maybe you would be seen as overachieving in some aspects and some wins. But if you were actually held on an even playing field, again, you're not better or more skilled than a Lomachenko, Rigondeaux. You know what I'm saying? There's so many guys who are far more skillful and talented than Canelo Alvarez. And like I said, this dude's flat-footed. Again, you guys are just hoping he lands a big shot and knocks Crawford out. But again, this is a guy that we know gets tired, This is a guy who's so desperate. He hugs trees and things like that, and asks trees, prays the trees to give him energy. I'm telling you, this fight's already done, and I already gave my prediction a year ago. You understand? The only thing that makes this somewhat intriguing is the size. But because of the fact that Crawford is going against the judging, the politics, and everything else in this fight, it's not even Canelo that's really the big thing that people are worried about. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. Now, Canelo, again, solid fighter. I'm not trying to act like he's just a bum, but he's nothing as advertised. Again, I have to double down. You guys have to do better in my comment section. Canelo's going to have to do something better than try to aim for hips and shoulders in this fight. He's going to have to be a more accurate puncher. Do you understand? Doing that against Bud Crawford is going to get you clipped. And I would not be shocked or surprised at all if Canelo does get knocked down for the first time in his career. Technically, he's already been knocked down. The ropes can't save you. Jose Cotto already showed you that that can happen, by the way. You understand? But this could be a high probability because Crawford is a guy who has a propensity to do this. He takes a lot of people's cherries, whether it's knocking them down for the first time, you understand, or if it's knocking them out for the first time. And I think this is an opportune moment for Crawford to really shock and amaze a lot of people. I'm still doubling down on Bud. You guys got to do better. I will talk to you later. Bye.